Commander Vec Ral's voice cut through the bridge clamor. All frigates execute decapitation strike. Target Earth's orbital nodes. Maximum burn. The task force surged forward. 50 coalition vessels knifed into Sol's outer heliosphere. Vec gripped his console. Scans painted Sol as average. A G-type star, unremarkable system, primitive defenses. The Coalition's quick pacification doctrine fit perfectly. Hit hard, demand surrender, install oversight. Sol's humans would fold like every other fringe world. Lieutenant Kresh piped up from tactics. Commander, Sol's output exceeds projections by 3%. Heat shields holding, but... Average star, Vec interrupted. Compensate and press. Frigates dove deeper. Plasma sails unfurled to bleed velocity. Vec watched the holotank. Earth's blue marble swelled ahead, ringed by scattered habitats and what passed for a navy, outdated cruisers no match for Coalition railguns. Alarms blared on the lead frigates. Kresh's claws clicked. Shield overloads cascading. Frigate Thaler reports hull temps at critical. They're cooking alive. Vec's mandibles tightened. Cooking impossible. Sol's profile matched 1,000 pacified systems. He stabbed the comm. Thaler, report. Static crackled, then Captain Jur's voice strained. Shields failing, radiators slagged. Crew temps rising, furnace conditions. Vectors locked on nodes, but we can't. Abort dive, Vec barked. All ships reroute to safe corridor. Epsilon 7 vector, flank the star's limb. Engines thrummed. The fleet arced wide, skirting Sol's bloated corona. Vec exhaled steam. Epsilon 7 cleared simulations. Lower insulation, stable approach. Earth's nodes remained in reach. 2 minutes to optimal firing range. Sensors pinged mindsats in the glare. Vec dismissed them. Solar interference. Ghosts. Escort Perak vanished from the holotank. Then Lurvex. Explosions bloomed silent in the void, shrapnel winking against Sol's fire. Kresh whirled. Mindsats, cloaked in the photosphere glare, they ambushed from the safe corridor. Vec's crest flared. Assumptions shattered. Humans hid weapons in their star's fury. He recalibrated. Helm evasive spiral, guns hot on those nodes, launch drones for mine clearance. Drones streaked out. Railguns charged with a whine. Vec opened the surrender channel. Standard protocol, show strength, offer terms. Human command, this is Coalition Task Force Alpha. Your orbitals are targeted. Surrender unconditionally or face annihilation. Respond. Silence stretched. Vec's bridge crew shifted. The holotank updated. Earth's picket ships maneuvered, but no counterfire. Primitive. A human voice broke through. Calm female tone. Accented but clear. Task Force Alpha, this is Captain Mara Osai, UNS Navy. Your position is plotted. Flagship at 14.2 by 37.8 Mark Sol. Escorts in Delta formation offset 2.1 clicks. Surrender terms noted. Counteroffer, withdraw, or burn. Vec froze. The voice pinned his exact coords, real-time through solar interference. How Kresh gaped at her board. Commander, they have us triangulated via stellar scintillation. Our emissions refract in the corona. They're reading us like beacons. Vec slammed a claw down. Jam it, full spectrum. Jammers fired, but the humans' plot updated on their own TACnet, ghosted from the transmission. Perfect overlay. Frigate Thaler limped back into formation, hull blackened, venting plasma. Jur's voice again ragged. Lost 30% crew to heatstroke. Shields gone. Sol's radiation is a weapon. Vec's mind raced. Doctrines cracked. Sol wasn't average. Its star weaponized approach vectors. Humans built doctrines around it, harsh, unrelenting. Press the strike, he growled. Nodes first, break their command. Guns spat. Slugs arced toward Earth's orbitals. Human pickets danced aside, redundant thrusters firing in eerie sync. One node crumpled under fire. Victory. Then countermeasures bloomed. Human mindsats, dozens swarmed from Lagrange shadows, not random. Chained reactions timed to fleet vectors. Perak's wreckage snagged a drone. Chain exploded. Lurvex's debris field lit up, dragging 2 more escorts into the blast. Vec yanked the fleet back. Regroup at Deimos Intercept. Reassess. Sensors screamed new contacts. Human probes, tiny, swarming like gnats. They mapped the mine debris, cataloged damage, vanished into solar wind. Kresh whispered, they're learning our evasion patterns already. Vec stared at Sol's inferno. Humans treated this hell as baseline. Their normal turned his safe plays into traps. The surrender channel pinged again, Osai's voice unhurried. Damage report, 2 escorts total loss, Thaler combat ineffective, your decapitation failed, next vector pinned, withdraw. Vec muted it, but the plot held flawless. Humans saw through the glare, turned the star against invaders. He needed options, fast. War mediator Threx's shuttle docked amid cheers. Coalition envoys streamed into the forward base. Saul's pacification lagged, but terms would seal it. Threx adjusted his robes. Humans' fractious resource poor pressure broke them. Vec's face flickered on the view screen, etched with strain. Mediator, strike delayed. Saul's environment resists standard vectors. Threx waved it off. Expected, transmit the demand packet. Their leaders crave stability. The packet beamed, full disarmament coalition oversight resource tithes, standard. Earth's response arrived in seconds. A human male, stern-faced. War mediator Threx, UNS receives your terms. Counter, coalition withdrawal, full reparations for incursion. Threx barked laughter. Reparations from primitives? The human's eyes hardened. Your frigates breached our perimeter, losses mounted, we endure. Endure, Threx scanned the feed. Human ships patrolled unbowed, hulls scarred but thrusters crisp, no panic broadcasts. Their culture thrived on this. Vec cut in. Their probes infiltrated our net, they predict our moves. Threx frowned. Saul's star defied models. Humans navigated it routinely. Baseline doctrine, harsh star, harsher resolve. Escalate visuals, Threx ordered. Show wreckage. Drones relayed, Thaler's blackened husk orbited, crew evac'd. Human salvage bots already circled it, methodical. A new voice joined, female, precise. Dr. Ilya Serrano, fleet advisor, your alloys warp under Sol flux, ours don't, Threx probed. You weaponize your star. Maintain ships in it, Serrano corrected. Same tools. Tools, humans reframed apocalypse as maintenance. Vec's fleet reformed, probes harried them. Lieutenant Sava Klein's voice leaked through a cracked channel. Contacts logged, redundancy chains deploying. Threx leaned forward, pressure fueled them. Vec's fleet clawed into Mars' shadow, repairs hissed across hulls. Thaler trailed, gutted. Status, Vec demanded, Kresh tallied. Mindsats neutralized 80%, but they redeployed from solar wind, endless. Humans turned Saul's storms into resupply. Osai's channel reopened. Regroup complete, Deimos vector pinned, surrender or we clear your wreckage. Vec seethed, her comm mocked him. He fired a salvo blind, slugs vanished into glare. Human counter, precise lasers from orbital nodes. One nicked an engine pod, painful, controlled. They're rationing ammo, Kresh noted. Surgical. Vec ordered probes launched, hunt their command, probes dove. Human recon swatted half. Survivors beamed back, ships with modular radiators swapping shields mid-burn, improvised. Lieutenant Klein's signature pinged. Field op confirms, your safe corridor mined, endurance wins. Vec crushed the report. Humans endured what broke coalitions. Redundancy as strategy, Threx's voice overrode. Commander, negotiate their culture. No, Vec cut thrust. Full assault, anger a liability. No, press, fleet charged Earth's ring, mines bloomed, frigates danced through, guns blazing, nodes shattered. 2, 3, Osai responded. Nodes redundant, command intact, your losses 4 escorts. Truth, scans confirmed. Vec halted. Fleet mauled, Saul's hell unchanged. Humans waited, unbreakable. Threx paced the mediator deck. Vec's feed showed a battered armada. Humans pressed no chase. They consolidated. They're not vengeful, Threx murmured. Strategic. Serrano's analysis packet arrived unasked. Stellar physics diagrams, Saul's flares as comm relays, winds as drone carriers. Klein's recon logs, operators in suits, 90-hour shifts, laughing through fatigue. OSA broadcast fleet-wide. Coalition, your doctrine assumes mercy. Ours assumes none. Withdraw. Threx. Threx slammed the broadcast override. Human forces of Saul, this is war mediator Threx of the Coalition Concordance. Cease hostilities, accept protectorate status under our aegis. Minimal bloodshed, full autonomy in cultural spheres. Respond now. Static crackled. Saul's star flared on tactical overlays, a seething corona of plasma storms. Vec's fleet hung back, engines cold, hulls scarred from the minefield dance. Captain Mara Osai's voice cut through, calm as vacuum. Mediator Threx, talks accepted. Commence in 12 hours. Window 745 to 820 Sol standard. Anchor point, Lagrangian L2, shadow of storm front gamma 9. Threx blinked. 12 hours. L2 sat dead center in Sol's radiation hell. Gamma 9's electromagnetic fury would scramble sensors for 20 minutes every orbit. Humans picked the eye of the beast. Confirmed, Threx replied. Coalition guarantees safe passage. Osai's channel snapped shut. Threx spun to his console. Vec, status on jammer buoys. Deploying now, Vec growled over tight beam. Blanket the approach. No human signals in or out. Buoys launched in salvos. Spherical drones bloomed across the vector to L2, pulsing interference fields. Threx watched the grid light up. Perfect coverage. Humans blind. Coalition eyes only. Then lasers flickered. Thin beams stabbed from the storm's edge. Coalition pickets lit up with targeting pings, ghost data masked in Gamma 9's noise, updates sleeting through the plasma roar. Impossible, Threx muttered. He patched into Vec's feed. Human orbital nodes, modular beasts, rode the solar wind like surfers. Radiators flexed, swapping broadband lasers for tight beam comms. Storm static hid the modulation. One beam kissed a buoy. It vented plasma, jammer field rippling. They're using the storm, Vec barked. Noise flora's cover, targeting our gaps real time. Threx's claws tightened on his console. Humans turned Saul's rage into a weapon, normal for them, madness for anyone sane. Pull buoys back, Threx ordered. Reform at L2 perimeter, ceasefire bubble radius 5 light seconds. Enforce it. Vec's armada shifted. Drones marked the bubble, a neutral sphere around the talk point. No kinetics, no energy weapons, lasers only for comms. Threx exhaled. Protocol engaged. Humans complied or they broke first. Osai's lead ship, the UNS Endurance, ghosted into view. Blocky human design, overbuilt hulls, redundant thrusters, radiators like solar sails. No frills. It parked at L2's heart, storm front curling behind like a predator's breath. Threx's shuttle detached from Vec's flagship. Escorts flanked it. Entering bubble, he announced. Open channel. Osai's face filled the holoscreen, dark skin, close-cropped hair, eyes like polished obsidian, no uniform flash, just function. Mediator, state terms, Threx leaned in. Protectorate integration. Saul retains internal governance. Coalition handles external threats. Disarmament phased over 5 cycles. Your star's volatility ends expansion. Join us, thrive. Osai nodded once. Noted, counter, full withdrawal, no return without invitation. Saul handles its threats. Threx's mandibles clicked. Bluff. Refusal escalates. Vex fleet outguns you 10-1. Numbers lie, Osai said. Environment doesn't. A ping hit Threx's console. Dr. Ilya Serrano's packet uninvited again. Diagrams scrolled, kinetic rods pre-staged in L2 debris clouds. Human recon had seeded them weeks ago, inert shadows until now. Threx froze. Sensors, shadow scan the bubble, Vec's voice exploded. Rods inbound, shadowed by wreckage prepositioned, ceasefire violation, kinetics bloomed. Telephone pole slugs, magnetized for precision, hurled from hidden launchers. No engines, pure gravity assist from L2's libration point. Coalition escorts jinked. First rod pulped a frigate's nose, armor shredded. Second grazed Threx's shuttle, hull groaned, alarms wailed. Evade, Threx yelled, pilot slammed thrust. Shuttle spun, bubble integrity cracking. Osai's voice stayed level. Bubble respected, rods were there first, your scans missed them. Vec's fleet fired back. Lasers carved nodes, but redundant swapped in seamless. Endurance held position unruffled. Threx gripped his harness. Lieutenant Sava Klein's recon log appended to Serrano's packet. Footage, human operators in ancient suits, 90-hour shifts, rigging rods by hand. Laughing. Endurance is our doctrine, Klein's voiceover said. They plan for breakage, Threx patched to Vec. Abort, pull out. Too late, Vec snarled. Humans turned our mercy into a kill box. More rods dropped. A cruiser vented Atmo. Humans didn't press. They consolidated, nodes reforming like cells. Osai's channel reopened. Terms stand. Withdraw. Threx stared at the storm. Saul's front roared, hiding a dozen more volleys. Humans scheduled talks in hell and weaponized the invitation. Complying, Threx choked out. Fleet retrograde, full burn. Shuttle lurched away. Vec's armada clawed for distance, mauled again. Humans watched from L2, silent sentinels. Threx slumped as the storm swallowed the talk point. Their normal, brutal math, endless redundancy shredded coalition precision. Pressure fueled them. Diplomacy, just another vector. Vec's tight beam pierced the retreat. Threx, your talks gifted them firing solutions. Threx silenced him. Fleet logs already streamed to Concordance High Command. Saul's culture didn't bend. It endured and struck. But Osai's final broadcast chased them. Next window. Your choice, Threx's console pinged. Serrano's update, storm front evolving. Human drones riding it, seeding more rods. He crushed the packet. Retreat first, then rethink everything. Captain Mara Osa watched the Coalition fleet burn for safety. Endurance's bridge hummed. Redundant consoles blinked green. Lieutenant Klein patched from a forward node. Rods expended 80%, ma'am. Resupply en route. Good, Osai said. Dr. Serrano, storm relay status? Serrano's voice crackled from engineering. Flares peaking. Winds carry drones to L1. Next barrage prepped. Osai nodded. No smiles, just logs updated. Saul's hell was home. Coalition doctrine crumbled in it. Vec's signature faded from scopes. Threx's shuttle trailed, damaged but intact. They're learning, Klein noted. Osai keyed fleet-wide. Consolidate. Recede shadows, they return, were ready. Bridge crew moved. Humans thrived in constraints. Aliens fled them. Threx landed on Vec's flagship amid venting repairs. Vec met him in the bay, mandibles flared. Your bubble cost us 3 hulls, Threx stepped past. Their prepositioning cost you. Scans failed. Vec blocked him. Negotiate, they used it. Threx shoved data slates into Vec's claws, Serrano's diagrams, Klein's endurance logs. Read, Saul's not weak. Adapted, their star forges them. Vec scanned, flares as relays. Winds as carriers, 90-hour shifts, laughing. Insane, Vec muttered. Resilient, Threx corrected. We assumed mercy, they assume none. Alarms blared, new contacts, human drones, solar windborne, seeding L2 anew. Vec crushed a slate. Full retreat, regroup at Kuiper. Threx followed to the bridge. Fleet accelerated, Saul's glare shrinking, but Osai's voice lingered in logs. Withdraw. High Command would demand answers. Threx cued his report. Saul's normal was war incarnate. Underestimated peril. A final ping, Serrano's model predicted coalition paths. Rods waiting, Threx deleted it. Too late, humans already knew. Dr. Ilya Serrano sealed the drone bay. Storm winds howled outside Endurance's hull. Plasma danced on viewports. Launch vector locked, she told the techs. Rods magnetized, shadow drop. Techs nodded, suits scarred from shifts, no complaints. Redundancy built in, Serrano patched to Osa. L2 receded, Kuiper traps primed if they run. Osai's reply, solid copy, endurance holds. Serrano grinned faintly. Saul's physics weren't constraints, tools. Humans wielded them like breath. Coalition signatures Doppler shifted away. For now, she turned back to consoles, next flare incoming, time to ride it. Threx stood on Vec's bridge as Saul dimmed to a point. Fleet mauled, probes gone. Buoys slagged, Vec gripped rails. Regroup, hit their orbitals next cycle. Threx shook his head. No, their doctrine, logistics as weapons. Launch all fighter swarms. Commander Vec Ral slammed his fist on the tactical holodisplay. Icons bloomed across the projection. 10,000 drones, a tide of razor-sharp vectors flooding Earth orbit. Coalition supremacy doctrine demanded volume. Human defenses, scattered orbitals, outdated kinetics would shatter under sheer mass. Bridge crew snapped acknowledgments. Threx, the war mediator, shifted beside him. Vec, their logs show adaptive patterns. Probe deeper first. Volume crushes adaptation. Vec waved him off. Drones accelerated, weaving through debris fields. First contacts lit up, human pickets firing chaff bursts. Swarms engulfed them. Explosions stippled the display. 80% penetration. Earth loomed blue and fragile below. Then anomalies, a human wing, 24 signatures broke formation. They vectored sunward into Saul's outer radiation lanes. Vec's analysts hissed. Decoy ploy, Vec snapped. Pursue, pin their main force. Lead squadrons dove after. Pilots' feeds streamed live, human craft jinking through plasma streamers, hulls glowing cherry red. No evasion panic. Deliberate drags, Lieutenant's voice crackled from a pursuit drone. Commander, rad levels spiking, sensors at 60%. Push through, numbers favor us. Vec zoomed the hollow. Humans led the chase perfectly, threading belts where solar flares licked the void. Coalition pilots followed disciplined, sensors flickered on feeds. First pilot, optics degrading, static bloom. Second, targeting arrays blind, where are they? Human signatures danced untouched. Their drones fired, pinpoint lasers carving through drone hulls, kills stacked. Vec's swarm hemorrhaged, 20% losses in minutes. Threx leaned in. Their optics endure, ours don't. Saul's lanes are theirs. Reserves, Vec roared. He committed the second wave, 5,000 more fighters. Icons surged. Bridge lights dimmed under power draw. Flank and envelop. Reserves plunged in. Feeds worsened. Pilots screamed coordinates before links died. Full blackout, hull plating melting. One feed captured it, a human fighter, scarred black, loosing missiles amid blinded foes, its optics tracked. Fired, 3 drones vaporized, Vex claws dug into his console. Losses hit 40%. Humans lost 6 craft. 6. The decoy wing looped back unscathed, baiting deeper. They're toying with us. Threx's voice cut sharp. Pull back. No retreat under my command. Vec keyed fleet-wide. All squadrons disengage to safe vectors. Regroup at lunar Lagrange. Icons peeled away. Swarms fragmented, survivors limping on thrusters. Human drones pursued selectively, picking stragglers. Vec watched the butcher's bill climb, 62% attrition. His meticulous sims lied. Saul's radiation ate numbers alive. Alarms wailed. Supply tender icon vital for drone resupply flashed amber, then read no response. Status, Vec demanded. Comms officer paled. Seized, sir. Lunar shadow, human, submarines, stealth signatures clamped it. Boarding parties confirmed. Submarines. Vec pulled the feed. Shadowed hulls, wedge-shaped, materialized from lunar regolith haze. No engines glow. They latched onto the tender like parasites. Human marines in EV suits swarmed the hatches, efficient, no chatter. Cargo bays cracked open. Ammo pallets dragged aboard. Threx stared. Logistics as weapons, they planned this. Vec crushed his slate. The tender's fusion core spiked, self-destruct overridden. Humans owned it now, his reserves, fuel-starved ghosts. Full fleet alert, Vec growled. Vector to Kuiper, resupply from outliers. Engines thrummed, Saul's glare intensified as they burned outward. Bridge crew worked in silence. Vec replayed the feeds. That human wing leader, Klein, intercept tagged her. She dragged his best into hell lanes without a waver. Her craft's hull, reinforced for Saul's tantrums. Optics hardened, redundancy in every joint. High Command expected a pacification report, not this. Lieutenant Sava Klein punched the comm. Decoy wing break left, lunar shadow run. Her squadron snapped through the swarm's retreat. Radiation warnings blinked amber on her canopy, nominal for Saul-hardened gear. Fighters shed heat sinks, venting plasma. Enemy drones scattered, sensors fried white. Copy, boss, her wingman crackled. Tender secured? Endurance confirms. Osai's prize. Sava grinned under her helmet. Coalition fools chased volume. Humans brought the map. She banked hard, threading a flare tail. Enemy stragglers dotted her HUD, optics clear, tracking flawless. One burst from her railguns, drone bloomed. Splash one. Behind her, the real work hummed. Sub-tenders, silent hunters slipped from lunar cover. Captain Osai's voice patched in, calm as vacuum. Klein, clear the lane. Serrano, seeding rad buoys. Affirm. Sava led her wing in a wide arc, drawing eyes. Buoys deployed silent, magnetized to mimic debris. Next swarm, blind and cooked. Coalition fleet signatures Doppler shifted away. Kuiper bound, predictable, Sava Kidos. Lane clear, heading home. Regroup at Endurance, flare cycle in 10. Sava nodded to empty space. Saul's physics weren't bugs. Features, humans surfed them. Commander Vec gripped the bridge rail as Kuiper loomed dark. Fleet mauled, tenders short, drones depleted, Threx paced. Negotiate, Vec. Their commander, Osa, offered terms once. Withdraw, preserve face. Face means nothing without victory. Vec pulled orbital scans, human stations intact. Worse, new signatures at L2. Solar wind drones, analyst burst in. Sir, enemy probes receding defenses, rods from shadow. Vec crushed another slate. Full retreat, regroup beyond Kuiper. Threx cued his report. Saul's normal, radiation, shadows, flares, humans arsenal, coalition numbers, chum, a ping, intercepted human audio. Dr. Serrano's voice steady. Kuiper paths modeled, rods primed. Vec froze, they knew. Captain Myra Osai watched the holotank. Coalition signatures fled. Endurance shuddered under storm winds, solar plasma rattling the hull. L2 recede complete, Serrano reported from engineering. Kuiper traps hot. Solid. Osai traced the enemy vector. Predictable logistics loop. Humans built doctrine around it, harsh star, harsher math. Subfleet reports tender secured, Klein added, striding in. Ammo redistributed, Osa nodded. Prime the rods, they regroup, we remind them. No cheers, just work, Saul demanded it. War mediator Threx stood firm as Vec's bridge emptied into damage control. Saul shrank to a baleful eye. Fleet accelerated, battered. Vex snarled at the plot. Next cycle orbitals fall, Threx shook his head. No, their doctrine turns logistics to blades, subs in shadow. Radiation as ally, pressure fuels them. Vec ignored him. Probes launched ahead, scouts for Kuiper resupply. Alarms blared anew. New contacts, human drones, solarborn, seeding L2. Vec's face twisted. Threx watched the rods deploy silent. Humans didn't conquer Sol. They endured it, weaponized it. High Command would demand answers. Threx cued the truth: underestimate humanity's normal. It devours empires. A final model pinged Serrano's prediction. Coalition paths locked. Threx deleted it. Too late. Humans already waited. Kuiper loomed. Traps hummed. Proof! Threx barked into the open channel. Transmit schematics. Show your defenses cap at local orbitals. Escalate no further or we end this. Static hissed back. Then Captain Osai's voice cut through, calm as vacuum. Mediator, our proof runs on Sol time. Watch L1 arrays. Threx gripped the Mediator's podium. Vex bridge crew froze around him. The holoplot flickered, human signatures steady at Lagrange points. Coalition carriers limped outward, engines straining against solar wind shear. Scans clear, a sensor tech reported. No mass buildup, no exotic yields, Threx nodded. High Command demanded this, force surrender without total war. Humans fought smart, not suicidal. Prove their ceiling low, extract terms, goal simple. But Sol's glare mocked him. Probes relayed feed. Human station at L1 bloomed with mirrors, heliostats, vast petals unfurling. Dr. Serrano's voice patched through public band, clipped and efficient. Arrays aligning, pulse in 3, evacuate corridor 075. Threx's spine stiffened. What pulse? Sensors show nothing. Light stabbed the plot. Sol's corona twisted, not random flare. Focused beam, narrow as a lance, swept the corridor. Coalition scouts vaporized mid-burn. Radiation alarms screamed. Carrier nav systems glitched, autopilots seizing thrust vectors. False flare, Vec roared from the command deck. They scheduled it, Threx stared. Humans didn't build doomsday guns. They tuned their star like a forge. Heliostats pulsed output into kill zones on demand. Sol's fury aimed. His demand for proof answered in plasma. Reposition carriers, Threx ordered. Flank Vector 4-2, clear the beam path. Decks shuddered. Engines fired, but carriers yawed wild. Radiation fried gyros. Auto failsafes kicked in, emergency protocols locking courses outward. No override, human solar math predicted it. Lost authority, the helm officer grated. Systems slagged, we're blind running to Kuiper shadow. Threx punched the plot. Humans turned environment to doctrine, harsh star, baseline. They endured, adapted, weaponized. His meticulous plan crumbled. Goal, reposition for strike. Conflict, Sol's scheduled wrath. Outcome, fleet scattered, nav gutted. Vex stormed over. Bombard their stations, glass the arrays, end this farce. Threx hesitated. Politicals hated escalation, but proof mounted. Humans escalated casually. He keyed authorization. All batteries, planetary pattern. Target L1 primary, fire on my. Teleskins flooded in. Verified, human telemetry open-channeled. Serrano again, full blind protocol. Sol output to maximum scatter. Battle space zeroed in 10. The plot whited out. Sensors flatlined. Coalition scopes went dark. Entire battle space erased under coronal mass ejection. Not random, commanded. Humans blinded fleets on schedule like maintenance runs. Threx's claws dug into the podium. Carriers drifted helpless. Subs lurked in plasma shadows. Probes winked out. High Command's quick pacification fed on bad math. Sol weak, humans frail. Captain Mara Osa traced the fading signatures. Endurance's bridge hummed steady. Solar storm rattled bulkheads, but dampers held. Crew worked silent. L1 pulse confirmed, Serrano reported from the engineering alcove. Heliostats receding, next window in 48 hours. Osai nodded. Kuiper tenders report enemy probes inbound. Klein's team's seeding intercepts. Lieutenant Klein patched in from the Rex drone. Traps armed, redundancy tripled, they poke, we bleed 'em dry. No boasts, just logs. Humans built around Sol's tantrums, flares as clocks, radiation as cover. Coalition misjudged, thought harsh star broke species. It forged them. Osai eyed the plot. Enemy carriers scattered, nav locked. Predictable, logistics loops tight under pressure. Prime orbital rods, if they cluster we kinetic. Serrano glanced up. Rods green, but their mediators hailing again, demands parley. Osai allowed a thin smile. Patch him. Let's hear desperation. Threx paced as Vex damaged teams sealed hulls. Fleet reformed at Kuiper Edge, shadowed by ice belts, resupply drones inbound. But human traps pinged faint. Drones solar surfing, seeding kinetic webs. Parley accepted. Osai's voice returned. State terms mediator, Threx straightened. Goal extract concession, prove humans bluff. Your flare blinded us, impressive parlor trick, but carriers intact. Yield orbitals, accept coalition oversight, or we glass Earth. Pause, then oversight. We schedule flares weekly for sail ops. Blindings maintenance, yield, Sol doesn't yield. Threx signaled Vec, bombardment prepped, stealth salvos inbound. Your proof fails, we escalate now. Sensors twitched, faint mass, human rods deploying silent from L2 shadow. Coalition probes hit first traps, Kuiper ice laced with railgun nests, shrapnel clouds shredded scouts. Losses mounting, Vec snapped. Abort bombard, too late. Osa cut in. Rods away, your resupply vectors locked, enjoy the math, plot lit with kinetics. Silent spears arced from shadow, aimed by solar prediction. Carriers jinked, auto failsafe still glitched. One tender crumpled under impacts, ammo pods cooking off. Threx killed the channel. Humans didn't rage, they planned. Every normal, flares, storms, belts became blades. His demand backfired, proof, they escalated with routine. Regroup core strike, Vec growled. Push to inner system overwhelm. Threx shook his head. No, their resilience feeds on us, pressure, fuel. He cued high command burst, Sol not pacifiable. Humans weaponize baseline. Recall fleet, but probes fed new data. Serrano's arrays realigning. Another pulse cued, not corridor, hemisphere flood. Dr. Ilya Serrano wiped sweat from her brow. Engineering bay thrummed, helostat feeds hot, stellar models churning. Pulse 2 prepped. Blind the inner approach. Osei strode in. Klein's Rex confirms carrier cluster, rods retasked. Aye, Serrano keyed arrays, Sol's output bent to human will, mirrors focused Corona into storms on demand, no superweapons, just astrophysics scheduled. Klein's face flickered on Aux screen. Enemy subs probing Earth ring, endurance teams countering, improv fusillades holding. Osa traced paths. They learn slow, Vec wants overwhelm, Threx wants terms. Serrano snorted. Terms under Sol, we live it daily. Rod streaked silent. Coalition flank buckled. Threx watched the second pulse bloom. Entire inner battle space vanished, sensors, drones, all. Fleet navs failed anew, autopilots dumping thrust to safe orbits. Vex slammed a fist. They're toying, bombard Earth direct. Denied, Threx snapped. Political override. But telemetry lied not, humans blinded at will, scheduled like crop cycles. High command pinged back, hold position, assess. Assess what? Humans normal devoured assumptions, endurance in storms, improv in belts, stellar spite as ally. A final probe survived long enough. Feed showed OC on endurance bridge, calm, plotting, crew redistributed ammo mid-storm, no panic, doctrine, Threx deleted his report draft. Truth too stark, never corner humans in their forge, they schedule your end. Alarms wailed. New contacts, human subs emerging from plasma veils, rods inbound, Kuiper traps snapped shut, fleet signatures scattered, Threx braced, Sol loomed hungry, humans waited, patient as gravity. Commander Vec Ral slammed the execute order. Coalition dreadnoughts surged into position, forming an iron ring around Sol's inner system. Sensor net snapped taut. Blockade sealed, his TAC officer reported. No human traffic breaches detected. Vec leaned forward. Earth would starve first. Food riots, power blackouts. Surrender in weeks. Coalition doctrine guaranteed it. Cut logistics, watch primitives fold. Alarms chirped. New contacts bloomed inside the ring. Human freighters, fat with cargo, ghosted past patrol sweeps. Impossible, Vex snarled. Trace vectors, destroy the lead elements. Probes swarmed the intruders. Scans lit up his main holodisplay. No weapons signatures, just haulers splitting into diffuse clouds. They docked with asteroid outposts, microstations Vex prelim sweeps had dismissed as mining junk. Captain Osai's signature, Intel hissed. She's fragmenting her fleet, civilian hulls converting to depots now. Vex claws tightened on his armrest. Osai, that comm specter on every intercepted feed, he vectored strike wings. Target the clusters, vaporize their resupply. Fighters dove, missiles lanced out. The first depot cluster erupted in fireballs, then reformed. Shrapnel reassembled into drone swarms. Repair kits ejected from wreckage, auto-fusing hull breaches on intact haulers. Spare crews jetted across voids, boarding sister ships mid-spin. What sorcery? Vex Navigator gaped. Each cargo run carries factories, they're seeding redundancy inside our noose. Vec punched up fresh scans. Every freighter hid modular bays, drone fabs, fuel synthesizers, crew pods. Humans turned logistics into distributed weapons. His blockade strangled empty space. "Regroup strikes," Vec ordered. "Pinpoint the core convoy. Osai's banner ship leads it, weak escorts ripe for the kill." Strike force coalesced. Vec watched the feed. A ragged human convoy plodded through the belt's shadow. Endurance-class escorts flanked haulers, engines cold to mask heat. Perfect bait. "Engage," Vec commanded. "Strip their fuel, leave hulls drifting." Coalition lances burned in. Lead salvo gutted 2 freighters, escorts scattered, then vanished into debris fields. "Ambush forming," TAC warned late. Human subs erupted from belt rocks preceded with mines. Rods from orbit Kuiper traps rained silent. Vec's vanguard buckled, tanks venting plasma. Osai's voice crackled over hacked comms. "Calm, precise. Fuel denial protocol, execute." Layered fields snapped active. Coalition drives choked on induced flares. Mirrors in Sol's corona, human scheduled, bent starfare into kill zones. Vec's fleet twisted evasive, but autopilots dumped thrust. Fuel reserves plummeted 20% in the first pass. "Pull back," Vec roared. Half his strikers limped home, tanks dry. The weak convoy reformed, depots fattened, drones multiplying. Vec stared at the holomap. Sol's harsh star, their belts, their storms, humans scheduled it all. Blockade held position, but humans resupplied inside. His assumptions bled fuel. Captain Mara Osai traced fresh vectors on Endurance's bridge plot. "Split the next wave, seed the outer ring." Lieutenant Sava Klein's face flickered on Aux screen. Probes confirm, Vex down 10% tanks. Endurance teams repositioned in plasma veils, ready for denial runs. Osai nodded. "Good, civilian freights carry the factories, no superweapons, just Sol's baseline." Dr. Ilya Serrano patched in from engineering. "Corona mirrors retasked. Next storm hits their flank in 12, fuel synths at 80%. Osai watched rods streak. Coalition signatures scattered. Vec learned slow. War mediator Threx gripped his console as Vec's after-action feed streamed in. Blockade intact, barely. Human cargo runs mocked it from within. "They're not starving," Threx muttered. "They thrive on constraint." High Command queried, "Escalate." Threx hesitated. Vec's report screamed miscalculation. Humans treated Sol's forge as home turf. Pressure fueled them. New pings, human subs emerging. Threx braced. Vec RAL vectored repair tenders, fuel margins razor-thin. "Reassess all assumptions," he barked. "Full spectrum on those depots." Scans poured data. Each micro-depot webbed spares. Redundant crews swapping shifts, improv fusillades from scrap. Drone factories churned mid-battle, seeding more. Osai's doctrine stared back. Humans built for Sol's spite, radiation storms, Kuiper traps, scheduled flares. Coalition fleets optimized for open voids choked here. "Target Osai, direct," Vec decided. "Assassination strike, end the head." Wings launched. Probes pierced the convoy haze. Endurance loomed, unflinching, then subs flanked. Klein's recon teams, Endurance operators, jetted from Veils, mag-latching to Vex scouts. Boarding charges breached. Fighters spun wild, autopilots hijacked. "Abort!" Vec yelled, strike dissolved, fuel hemorrhaged again. Osai's bridge feed ghosted onto his tack, hacked, taunting. She plotted calm amid redistributed ammo. Crews laughed through storms. No panic, normal. Vex fleet hung, starved in plenty. Sol loomed, mirrors gleaming. Sava Klein sealed the breach on the captured scout. Fuel siphoned, data core ripped. Her team jetted clear. Improv grapples held. Endurance swallowed them whole. Osai reviewed the take. "Vex reserves critical, Threx overriding bombardment." Serrano grinned. "Stellar spite primed, they probe, we schedule." Klein wiped blood from her visor. "Next layer ready." Threx deleted another draft. Vex rage boiled channels. "They're demons," truth simpler. Humans normal devoured fleets. Resilience as weapon. Threx pinged High Command, negotiate now. Alarms wailed anew. Vec watched his map fracture. Human micro-depots networked full circle now. Resupply flowed unchecked. Coalition doctrine cracked. "Full retreat to outer marker," he ordered. Pride burned, but survival demanded it. Engines thrummed. Then Corona mirrors flexed. Scheduled storm engulfed the rearguard. Sensors died. Fuel lines froze. Osai's voice returned, ICECOM. "Welcome to Sol, we live it daily." Vex claws gouged steel. His blockade fed the humans. Assumptions turned lethal. Probes caught the end. Endurance bridge, crew sharing rations mid-chaos. Smiles. Doctrine unbroken. Saul's heart pulsed hungry. Vex fleet scattered, ghosts in the forge. Humans waited patient as the star itself. Threx slammed the comms override. All ground units deploy now. Secure the primary hive, new Lagos. Ultimatum expires in one cycle. Visuals for high command. Force the surrender optics. His shuttle shuddered as drop pods ejected. Screens filled with lander swarms piercing Saul's outer haze. Vex retreat bought time, but optics demanded victory. Coalition doctrine, shock and awe broke primitives. Humans laughed at blockades. Ground assault would shatter them. Pods slammed into urban sprawl. Coalition troops spilled out, scaled Krell infantry, hulking Vorax heavies. Drones swept ahead, mapping Habdomes and Maglev spines. Threx's feed locked on lead elements. Advance to core nexus, broadcast demands. Troops fanned through Ferrocrete canyons, no resistance. Empty streets gleamed under habitat lights. A Krell sergeant pinged. Hive evacuated, no contacts. Threx frowned. Evacuation meant traps. Flank and probe, exosuits forward. Then the streets woke. Lieutenant Sava Klein crouched in the Maglev underbelly, visor fogged with sweat. Her squad, 8 survivors from the orbital breach, rigged the first kill zone. Charges on rail supports. Thermite vents primed. Go loud on my mark. A coalition pod cratered 2 blocks over. Boots thumped Ferrocrete. Klein's drone feed showed Krell squads advancing, plasma lances hot. Humans treated it like drill day. Recruits poured from side shafts, civilians with scavenged railguns, welders turned breachers. Welcome party, Klein muttered. Mark, supports buckled. Maglev cars derailed in a screech of sparks, slamming into the vanguard. Krell scattered, armor cracking under twisted mass. Klein's team jet-packed across the gap, grapples biting girders. They vanished into service tunnels, dragging wounded recruits behind. Threx's command feed glitched. What was that? A Vorax heavy stomped forward, exosuit shrugging off debris. Infrastructure collapse, acceptable losses. No, Threx zoomed the replay. Humans didn't flee. They funneled the assault, turned the city against invaders. Recruits untrained. Wore vac suits like second skin, moved with squad precision. Deploy full exosuit lance, crush the tunnels. Klein sealed a bulkhead, her team hauling crates of improvised penetrators. Old shipyard rods superheated in fusion torches. Grit coated her gloves, blood, grease, Saul's eternal dust. Exos inbound, vents to max. Recruits nodded, eyes steady. No fear, just jobs. Heat vents roared open. Tunnel air hit furnace temps. Coalition exosuits lumbered in, shields glowing. Klein's squad struck from vents. Penetrators lanced joints, molten slag-eating servos. A Vorax suit seized, pilot screaming as humans swarmed, prying hatches with crowbars. Endurance won. They dragged the pilot out, zip-tied him, moved on. Threx watched the feed die, 1 lance gone. Exosuit after exosuit toppled, humans disabling them with heat and scrap. No high-tech, just environment as weapon. How? Their tech baseline, a Krell analyst cut in. They live this. Harsh Star forges doctrine, redundancy everywhere. Tunnels link Habs cycle-wide. Threx gripped his console. Vex fleet starved in plenty. Now ground troops bled in empty streets. Humans normal, improvise or die. Coalition precision cracked against it. War broadcasts. All channels demand surrender. Show exosuit Rex proof of superiority. Drones lofted speakers. Booms echoed. Primitives of Saul, yield, your fighters fall. Join the enlightened or perish. Silence. Then cheers erupted from every Habdome, every allied outpost. Feeds caught it, crowds surging to armories, factories spitting drones, civilians welding barricades. New Lagos pulsed alive, recruits tripled. Volunteers streamed to front lines, singing old anthems. Threx's analyst paled. Mobilization, total. Broadcast backfired. Klein laughed into her comms as fresh squads linked up. Osai's voice patched through. Psyop gifted us bodies. Serrano's stellar mirrors cycling hot, keep 'em pinned. Klein wiped visor blood. Copy, urban net locked, next wave. Threx muted the channel. High command pinged. Explain ground stall. He stared at the map. Human icons swarmed, turning invasion into rally. Coalition troops hunkered, requesting extract. Surrender optics, humans recruited mid-drop. Pull heavies back, Threx ordered. Regroup at perimeter. Pride stung, but data lied no more. Saul's people thrived on pressure. Push harder, they grew fangs. A new alert flashed. Orbital mirrors flexed. Scheduled flare incoming targeted. Ground troops scrambled as shadows lengthened. Klein's squad ghosted deeper. Flare drops thermals, push now. Recruits followed, endless. Coalition lines buckled. Threx's shuttle lurched, evac call. Humans didn't break, they built. Vex voice crackled through. Threx, fleet remnants inbound, we link or die. Threx punched accept. Saul hungered. Assumptions fueled it. Retreat formed, but humans closed the noose. Their normal, devoured worlds. Vec Ral slammed his fist on the command pulpit. All batteries target the primary heliostat cluster. Fire on my mark, end this flare farce now. Plasma lances erupted from his remnant fleet. 20 corvettes and the battered flagship Asterisk Vanguard converged on Saul's orbital mirrors. Intelligence confirmed it. Humans faked those solar flares with refractive arrays, blinding sensors and scorching assault vectors. Shatter the network, pacify the system. High Command demanded closure. Mark, Vec barked, beams struck true. The lead heliostat shattered in a bloom of molten debris. Cheers rippled across the bridge. Vex scanners lit green, secondary mirrors powering down. Push the envelope. Flankers enveloped the inner ring, but alarms wailed. Commander, mirror fields reforming, power signatures spiking, redundancies online. Vec leaned into his holodisplay. Impossible. Coalition probes mapped every array. Humans couldn't reroute that fast. Yet petals of mirrored foil realigned, funneling Saul's raw coronal fury into a blazing corridor. His corvettes plunged into it. Evade! Full burn! Vec ordered. The Dawn's fury asterisk vaporized first, hull buckling under focused solar plasma. 3 more followed, twisted hulks spiraling toward the star. Vec's fleet scattered, but the corridor herded them like chaff. Who commands this? Report contacts. Sensors pinged human signatures, sleek interceptors weaving through the thermal maze. No brute force. Precision burns exploited the mirror's own reflections, turning escape paths into kill boxes. Captain Osai vectors inbound, his TAC officer rasped. Pincer formation, they're boxing us. Vec's jaw clenched. Osai, the human naval ghost who'd bled his task force dry. He glimpsed her trap. Interceptors split into converging horns, squeezing his remnants toward Saul's umbra, a thermal dead zone where flares couldn't reach, but human kinetics ruled. Flagship engines to maximum. Brake for the outer lag range, Vec commanded. The Asterisk Vanguard asterisk shuddered, countermeasures flaring. Vec gripped his console as G-forces pinned the crew. A corvette exploded off starboard. Osai's lead squadron carved it apart with railgun volleys. Efficient, ruthless, no waste. Shields at 40%, engineering warned. Solar flux cooking us? Vec watched his holomap contract. Humans didn't chase blindly. They predicted his burns, mirrored his maneuvers. Threx's ground evac feeds flickered on auxiliary. Coalition troops abandoning positions, humans swarming but not slaughtering. Recruits fresh-faced, endless secured perimeters instead. They're not pursuing ground forces, Vec muttered. Why? A new ping, Dr. Serrano's signature on open channel. Human astro-engineer, her voice cut through, calm as vacuum. Commander Ral, your strike rerouted our grid. Efficient kill vectors, but you missed the backups. Saul's corona thanks you, it's primed now. Vec snarled. Mockery, surrender your arrays or we glass the inner system. Static, then laughter, light, precise. Glass what? Your probes showed primaries. We built tertiaries in the chromosphere. Redundancy baseline, pull back, save your crews. He muted her, arrogance. Yet scanners confirmed, nested arrays woven into stellar magnetics. Serrano weaponized the star itself. Humans treated Saul's fury as infrastructure. Osai's fleet closed the pincer. Vec's flankers crumpled, 2 rammed by improvised drone swarms, another caught in a mirror-reflected particle beam. The Vanguard limped into the dead zone, engines wheezing. No solar cover here, just cold shadow and human wolves. Point defense hot, incoming torpedoes, weapons officer yelled. Vec's world narrowed to the TAC feed. Lieutenant Klein's recon signatures ghosted in, field operators dropping from stealth pods, mag-locking to hulls. Breaches reported, borders slicing through bulkheads with plasma torches. Repel them, Vec roared, drawing his sidearm. Crew rallied, but humans fought dirty efficient. Klein's voice echoed over hacked comms. Bridge secured in 60. Endurance wins, sir. Yours ran dry. Vec fired down the corridor. A border dropped, but more poured in. His Marines fell back, disciplined but outnumbered. Humans endured hits, patched wounds mid-fight, improvised barricades from debris. Threx's shuttle docked hard. The war mediator burst onto the bridge, robes singed. Vec, fleet status. Critical, Vec snapped, blasting another intruder. Humans on the board, request terms now. Threx hesitated, then keyed the emergency band. Captain Osai, this is War Mediator Threx. Coalition requests parley. Flagship yields. Silence stretched. Vec covered the hatch, Marines thinning. Explosions rocked the hull, Osai's kinetics pounding weak points. Osai's response came steady. Terms, full withdrawal to Kuiper Picket, no reprisals. Rescue ops commence on your Rex. Confirm. Vec exchanged glances with Threx. Rescue, mid-battle. Confirmed, Threx broadcast. Pact signed, transmitting codes. Boarding halted. Hatches cycled open, not to kill, but medics. Human teams in void suits swarmed the Asterisk Vanguard Asterisk, dragging Coalition wounded to triage pods. Klein herself hauled Vex TAC officer clear, visor cracked but functional. Vex stared from the viewport. Osai's interceptors idled, tractors latching onto debris fields. Shuttles ferried survivors, Coalition and human crews side by side. Serrano's mirrors dimmed, flares aborted, no pursuit, no gloating broadcasts. Threx gripped Vec's shoulder. They halted to save us. Vec watched a human medic seal a Coalition plasma burn, precise, unyielding. Saul's people didn't conquer, they endured, adapted, then extended hands. His assumptions shattered like those mirrors. High command would rage, but data etched truth. Humans built wars around unbreakable baselines. Harsh star, harsher doctrine. Push them, they pull you into the fire, then fish you out. The Vanguard powered down. Evac complete. Osai's voice returned, final. Safe travels, mediator. Saul remembers debts. Vex signed the pact hologram. Coalition ships limped outward, human escorts shadowing to the picket. No victory cheers from new Lagos feeds. Just crews welding repairs, factories humming quieter. They came to break Saul. Then humans stopped to save the enemy they just outplayed. Captain Mara Osai watched the Coalition stragglers vanish into Kuiper's shadow. All units stand down, damage reports. Bridge hummed efficient. Lieutenant Klein patched in from a wreck. 50% salvage, wounded triaged, Serrano's arrays nominal. Good work, Osai said. Cycle to patrol, civvies need rest. Dr. Serrano leaned over her console. Reroutes held, next time they map deeper. Osai nodded, no boasts, just baseline. Saul burned steady. Humans kept it that way. Commander Vec Rowell's shuttle detached last, Threx beside him, silent. Your analysis? Vec asked. Threx exhaled. Humans don't break. Pressure forges them. We misjudged normal for weakness. Vec glanced back. Saul's limb aglare. Mirrors winked farewell. Fleet remnants coalesced at picket. High command queried, status. Withdrawal complete, Vec transmitted. Pact holds, recommend, never return. Probes confirmed, no pursuit. Humans resumed orbits, factories, lives, terrifying normalcy. Word count 1523.